channel, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Tell your friends so they can tell their friends so we can all be friends. My name is Vitumela Mudise. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Without wasting any time, let's jump right into the video. I am doing a segment like I mentioned in the first video. I'm gonna link it up here actually. With other things like agencies and whatnot, I'm gonna tell you guys in a whole separate video, so don't be DMing me or texting me or commenting down in the description or commenting down in the comment section asking me which agencies did you go with. We'll get there one step at a time, okay? One step at a time. We'll get to that part. So I promise I'm gonna give you guys so much insight on, you know, au pairing, and also advice, guys, and also questions that you gotta ask host families, asking God to also help you discern, you know, the family that you are interviewing, that you're speaking to. So yeah, guys, without wasting any time, let's get into it. So with the second family that I interviewed, to be quite honest, I wasn't as sure with them. I remember us having a conversation. Okay, I read their profile. I loved their profile. Okay, I love their profile. I also loved the city that they were at. From where they lived, it's like 15 to 20 minutes away from Washington, D.C. But the tricky thing was the street that I was at, it was both a Maryland street and also a Washington, D.C. street. So for me to say Maryland, there's no problem. And for me to say D.C., there's no problem because it's like a national street. It's crazy because it's the same thing that is happening right now. The way I'm living right now is both Georgia and also Atlanta. So it's like I'm in the middle of Georgia and Atlanta at the same time. So if ever I'm saying I'm in Georgia, it's still correct, and if I'm saying I'm in Atlanta, it's still correct. You understand? So yeah, it's a bit of both. So I also love that the family had one kid, right? I love the fact that the family had one kid, especially coming from a family that had 4 kids. I was just like, whoa, this is a lot. And you know, the kids seemed very cool over calls. I kind of felt like all the time when they would call me, he was either watching something, you know, and he doesn't get to watch a lot of TV, so he was always glued on the screen. So even if you were like, hi, he's not gonna hear you. You'd have to pause the thing and say hi to him, and only then is he gonna hear what you're saying, because when he's watching TV, he's so glued. It worries me sometimes, you know, because yeah, no, he gets really glued to that TV anytime he gets a chance. So yeah, that's what's up. And also I remember when we were, you know, having a conversation during our interview, I was like, okay, they're a nice family, but I kind of feel like I don't necessarily think we're compatible. You know, I was just like, I don't know what I was searching for, but I knew that it was not there. You understand? I remember even making a small note in my diary that we're not compatible. But the more we spoke, the more I grew to be fond of them. Like I really started liking them, loving their family, you know. And again, one thing was I was between the fence between choosing them and also choosing another family that was in Texas. I believe they were in Houston, Texas. I was torn between choosing the Texas family because I really like the Texas family. Like there was nothing wrong with them. They were just amazing. The mom was amazing, and I was just like, you know what, they're great. I spoke to their au pair, and one thing that the au pair mentioned was that she just felt like she wasn't really part of the family, and therefore she decided to just leave without explaining to them. And I was just like, that is a little questionable, you understand? And with the family that I decided to go with, they never had an au pair, so I was technically their first au pair. They've had a nanny before, but then they've never had an au pair before, so I was technically their first au pair, so I was just like, okay, great. They're not as knowledgeable with a lot of things that goes on with having an au pair, which is great. So it kind of feels like we're both gonna learn each other, like genuinely learn each other, you understand? So I really had a cool relationship with the dad. We would talk often. You know, he was very knowledgeable about a lot of things, so he would talk about a lot of things, and I appreciated that. But at the same time, bruh, he was I don't know if moody is the right word to use, but you just never knew what you're gonna be faced with the next day, you understand? So today he might be happy, and then tomorrow he's a little annoyed by something. He doesn't want to greet you. He's just, you don't understand what you're gonna get, you understand? And they also mentioned this about me. They were like, we just don't know what we're gonna get tomorrow. So I mean, and again, it's based on something, so I'll get into it within this story time. But to be honest, bruh, I don't know, it's really hard for me to talk about it. So if I sigh a lot, just know that I'm really trying to be as open and as honest as I can possibly be, without the intention of hurting people. So if ever they were to watch this, my intention is not to hurt them, but my intention is just to be open and honest about how I feel and what I felt within the whole process, and how it truly made me feel. So yeah, so I'm not doing this video with any malicious intent to hurt people or to talk badly about them, but I'm just doing this to be honest and just share my experience with other people in case they are trying to become an au pair and just know what happens, you understand? So again, to me, whenever family would be like, yo, we're family, I was just like, bruh, stop the cap. We're not family. You guys are just using it so that I can become very comfortable, you understand? So at the beginning it was all great, you understand? It was all great. The kid, I don't know, it was really hard getting him to know me because he's very introverted, and once you get to know him, then he becomes very extroverted, you understand? Once he becomes comfortable around you, he becomes very extra extroverted. But now that he hasn't seen me in a while, I remember recently they called me, and I regretted taking that call because it reminded me of a lot of things that they did that I did not like, and I kind of felt really sad, and I kind of regretted having a conversation with them. But right now he's a little introverted. He does want to talk to me, but at the same time he's just like, I'm very shy, you understand? Because he's a very shy kid. But yeah, anyway, so like I said, they seem like a very great family, and I'm not gonna take away from the fact that I believe that they are a great family. I just believe that, you know, there's a lot of things that they did, I don't know if they did them intentionally, that really hurt me, that I kind of feel like at some point I really do want to have a conversation with them about them, and I don't want to have that conversation over the phone. It's something that I would have to have, like being at a certain place with them and just telling them, hey bruh, this is how this made me feel and I did not like it. And again, I'm not too sure if I really want to do that, you know, because I kind of feel like it might trigger certain things, or I might say things that are way out of context. But yeah, it is what it is. So, you know, like I said in the beginning, it started off great. We became very comfortable. I told them how I felt. I was like, you know what, you guys are amazing, whatnot. And they started kind of wanting to control every move that I do. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't go out, you can't be in an Uber. In my mind, I'm just like, then what am I supposed to do? All the time they would want to drop me off if I want to meet up with friends, whether it's in Georgetown or whether it's in Washington DC. They would always want to drop me off and then always want to come and get me. So I would get that text, are you ready to leave? And are you ready for us to come get you? Type of text, you understand? So and even though in that text they'd be like, but you know, I mean, if you're not ready, it's okay, we can give you a curfew till like 11 or whatever, I don't know. Already it just spoils your mood, you understand? You're just like, you know what, it's fine, let them come get me, because I mean, it is what it is. And after they come get you, now you have to take off certain things. You need to leave your bag overnight outside, you need to go shower, because you know they COVID cautious, and you know, even when the groceries comes, that whole process whereby they spraying all the food, like the boxes and everything, and just cleaning them up and storing them in the house and taking a shower, don't touch me type of situation. I'm from the store. And you know, it got to me because now I got so accustomed to it that even when I came to this house where I'm at, like in Atlanta, they're COVID cautious, but not too much. You understand? Not excessively like, oh my gosh, I'm always having my mask. So I remember even with one of my host kids' birthday when we were out in Atlanta, in Feb, I was wearing a mask and my host dad was like, take that thing off. And I was just like, why? No, I'm not gonna do that. Do you understand? Although I wanted to, but I didn't, you know. So yeah, it's just one of those things. They were very COVID cautious. It was crazy. It was just getting to me a lot because I'm not being able to go out. I'm stressed. I'm always in this place. You know, even when I'm in my room, I would get like panic attacks sometimes. I remember this one particular time I woke up saying, oh, I'm late, it's work, da 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 da. And it was like literally in the AMs, probably like 5 a.m. and it was 5 a.m. on a Sunday and I was not working, but I had this panic attack and I was just like, this is not healthy. So everything went great with the family in the beginning until August 22nd. That particular day, I remember it was such a beautiful day that day, and the whole day, I kid you not, there was a song in my mind and I felt like I needed to listen to the song the whole entire day, but I did not understand why. You understand? So it's a song, I'll put it up here. It's called Tando by, I think, The Legacy or The Legacy. I think I can't remember what they called, but every time I'd listen to that song it would remind me of my friend Tando, bruh. And not only did it remind me of my friend Tando, it's either Tando was gonna come hang out with me on that day, or he was gonna call me, or he was gonna tell me that he misses me, or something was gonna happen all the time when I heard that song or thought about that song, even when I was back at home. So I just knew all the time when I listened to that song I would think of Tando immediately, or like I would call Tando or he would call me, or something would happen, you understand, every time I'd listen to that song. So the whole day it was just ringing in my mind, Tando. And I did not understand why, because I think the previous day we spoke and then he sent me a text in the morning and then I responded, well, in my morning, which is his afternoon, something like that. Yeah, I went on my WhatsApp and I saw somebody posted Tando with like crying emojis and broken hearts. Yeah, this is a little hard for me. With crying emojis and broken hearts, and I did not believe it. You know, at first I was just like, this should be some kind of joke. I just spoke to this person a few hours ago. It's impossible, you know. And I found out that my friend passed away. And I'm not gonna dwell into it, but that on its own affected my work, affected my energies. You know, I was just not the same. I was not okay. I was trying to deal with it as fast as I could, not allowing myself to really heal. And you know, I was dealing with a lot of things personally that I never spoke about because I did not really like talking about what I am going through. And he was one person that I would share certain things with, you understand? And now that he's gone, it was just like, oh my gosh, he's really gone, you know. And I went through it and it was really, really bad. And that family said to me, you know what, take all the time that you needed. And I appreciated that because I did really need that time. And take all the time that you need and just heal and get to a great space in your life, and then we'll try and figure out how we deal with the kid and whatnot, because it got really bad to a point whereby even when I try to put the kid for naps and whatnot, I would just start crying, and it was so uncontrollable. It was really hard. So that on its own affected my work, and they could see that, and there's nothing that they could do, but all they offered was just heal. And I think there was one particular day where I took like a day off because it was really hard, and they respected that. They gave me time, and I tried to bounce back, because that is just me just trying to bounce back and just trying to forget everything that happened, but it was so impossible, because I missed them so much, and I still do from time to time. But yeah, we're not going to talk about that today. But this is so hard. Then things were just not great. Even after Thando's funeral, I was not okay. I was just going through it. I would cry myself to sleep. It was really, really bad, and again, my host kid was so spoiled. He was the type of kid whereby it's his way or the highway. Everything that he wanted, he would get, his way or the highway. Like, even with little things, like I could be having a conversation with his dad or his mom. If he comes and say, "Mom, wada," we would have to stop everything and listen to him. Like, that kid was being listened to a lot. It was so much. It was too much. Like, he was, bruh, even with the little things. No, I don't want, what do I think? We'd have to stop all of that and make something else. I don't want waffles. Now you have to figure out a whole nother meal for him. That time you're done with the waffles, he just doesn't want the waffles. He takes a long time to eat. You'd have to feed him. That time he's able to feed himself. He's like 4. He's able to feed himself, but he doesn't want to feed himself. You'd have to feed him. He doesn't want to sit on the potty, so you'd have to change his diaper. He's old enough to tell you because he can talk. He understands a lot of things. He's smart for a kid his age. He can tell you that he wants to go to the toilet, but he would tell you that I want a diaper. I don't want to go to the toilet. He would cry. He would throw tantrums. And obviously, because they listened to him, they would be okay with him wearing a diaper at that age, and just yeah. And you would have to do it because you work for them. You have no other choice but to agree to whatever that the parents were saying. And I remember I remember them contacting my LCC and just telling her that I am not okay. The LCC texted me, and I texted back, and she decided to call me, and she spoke to me, and she was like, "How are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm okay, I'm getting better," or whatnot. She's like, "Bruh, you're not okay. You haven't dealt with it. I can tell, I can feel it on this call." And she was like, "You know what, you need to go for counseling. So I'm gonna get you a counselor that you can speak to, and then if ever and then just know that there's a chance that she might refer you to a therapist, whatnot, but your your insurance does cover for therapy." And I was like, okay, cool. She did exactly that, to be honest. And I just felt like, what's the point? But it really helped me, because on that call I was able to talk about things that were so old, scars that I chose to grow with, and hurt and pain that I chose to grow with without dealing with it. I was able to talk about it and let her know that, hey, I was in such a situation, and this is how I felt. And she was able to help me recover from that. And she was like, you know what, counseling is not a once-off thing. You need to come back and you need to talk to me, and we need to figure out you know, how we're gonna deal with the situation and how are you going to get better. Because even if you're in a good space, you still need to go to counseling. Even if you're in a bad place, you still need to go to counseling. It really helps, and that is true. I do suggest that anybody that is going through something, it's important for you to just, you know, allow God to help you and also go for counseling. I highly suggest that. So it really did help me, because the way that kid was spoiled, and I was just so tired, man. There was moments whereby I would say no to him, and if he goes to his parents, even though they heard me say no to him, they would say yes to him. And that on its own just created this, you know, thin line between what is the purpose for me to do all of this, because clearly they want him to do everything. So I'm just gonna let him do whatever that he wants. So it got to a point whereby whenever the kid, I would say to him, don't do whatever, and he wants to do it, I'd say okay. Like I would say okay to everything. Okay, like I was just not in a good place. Like whatever that he wanted, I was just like okay. If he wanted whatever, I'll just say okay. Like, because I just wasn't able to deal with him and then deal with the grief, and just it was just too much. I was just not in a good place, I'm not gonna lie. And then so the kid was that spoiled. He would scream, he would disturb people. Like I remember even this other time, it was Christmas. No, it was not Christmas. Was it Christmas? Oh yeah, it was Christmas. It was Christmas, and we were sitting at the table eating, and he likes getting attention. So he was like, guys, listen to me, all of you, you're loud, keep quiet, you know. I remember the grandmother just looking at me, because her and I had a conversation, the great grandmother actually, her and I had a conversation. She said that she disagrees with the way that, you know, my host mom and my host dad chooses to raise their kid, because she's just fearful, you know, of how he might turn out with the type of behavior that he has, of which to a certain extent I do agree with her. I just feel like they listen too much to their kid, and sometimes they don't make decisions based on how a parent really feels. It's more of like, okay, this is how he's feeling and this is how we're gonna do it. And I'm just looking at it from a point of view of when he gets older, you understand? Because when he gets older, you expect a kid to be knowledgeable about certain things, like, hey, I know that I can't be doing this and doing that. So when he gets older, because he's so used to getting things his way, even though he might not get everything his way, it's gonna be a problem. Because also that kid, I kind of felt like they were teaching him to be very much aware of wins and never fails. So that kid automatically in his mind, he has to win at everything. When we're playing a game, he has to win. When we're doing this, he has to win all the time. So he never fails. He doesn't know what failure is to him. And I am seeing it as a recipe for disaster, to be quite honest, because eventually he's gonna go to elementary, right? And he's gonna go to varsity and all of these places, and like, you're gonna get other kids that are greater than you, that are smarter than you, that are good at something more than you. So I don't know, I just felt like they weren't teaching him things the right way, in a sense that, you know, you have to know that there is also failures in life. It's not always about wins. But they were just spoiling that kid so much. And I remember then there was this one particular time I went to go do my social security. And when I went to go do my social security, it was closed on that day because it was the day before President Joe Biden was elected. So they forgot to send us texts, and we just went there for nothing pretty much. And they gave me a new date, and I went there on that particular date to go get my social security number done, right? And on the way, I remember mentioning to them, I did think about rematching, you know. We did speak to our LCC. I remember our LCC created a meeting whereby we all spoke together because they kind of felt like I was just not there, you know. I'm just letting the kid do whatever that he wants to do, you know. And remember, like I said, I would just say to him, okay, you know, even in front of his parents, when he's like, I want whatever, okay. No, I don't want that. I want, okay. You understand? So he also got frustrated over the fact that I'm allowing him to do things. You understand? So it was just too much for me at that time. And I knew that, you know what, I really want to leave this place because first of all, I'm not going out a lot. I do not have to be in restaurants because they're like, you have to be in outdoor places. Just make sure that you're outside, you're not inside, and all of that. It was just getting a lot for me, and I knew that I wanted to rematch, but I did not have the courage to, again, not really rematch, but extend, because I had been with them for like 11 months. So I had to extend either with them or with a new family. So it wasn't rematch, I had to extend. And I decided that, you know what, I'm gonna extend. My LCC also told me that, you know what, if you are not happy, you can never make anybody else happy. So in my opinion, this is not gonna change. This whole COVID situation, whatever, it's not gonna change. But if you want to have the best time of your life, I would suggest that you extend. And I decided that, okay, cool, I'm gonna extend. And I extended, but with a different family. So I remember them telling me that, hey, you know, just think about us, you know, while you're doing this process. I mean, we technically still do need somebody to help us, and, you know, all of that. And we, you know, we would love to still have you here, whatnot. And I was just like, okay, cool. So like I said, I was going to do my social security, right? And as I went to go do my social security, before I went to go do my social security, I was working because I think my appointment was like at 12 and I had to work before 12, you understand? So I would work from 9 till 12, well, 9 till maybe 11:30, so we can leave and then get there around 12, because I think it was like a 30-minute drive or something. So he was gonna take me there, my host dad, right? So I was working, and this kid was bought this huge track, right? Toy that was a track whereby, you know, cars just drive around, whatever, the whole day, and also go out and play in the backyard or like take a walk. But he hated walks so much, we hardly took walks. We would always like play in the backyard, and I would have to force him for us to go outside. I hated going outside, he hated going outside, but they forced him to go outside, so automatically I would have to go outside. Whew. So it got to a point whereby we wouldn't want him to go play in the basement in the morning, like immediately, because we knew how hard it was to get him upstairs. Dad started saying so many bad things. Why would you take it upstairs? I'm so tired. I know that you understand me clearly. What? He raised his voice so high, and I was just so mad, and I was just so sad, actually. Not even mad, but it was more of like sadness, because it's just so much. I'm trying so much. I'm pushing myself to the edge for this family, and Jay, it's just not seen, you understand? And they expected so much, and again with so little money again. And I was just like, you know what, I don't know if I want to continue with this family. So I went to go do my social security on that day. So while we were on the way, he's talking to me as if nothing happened. He's laughing, you know, talking to me. I remember actually before that, the wife came down and was like, what just happened? Are you okay? What did he say? What not? You know, just shoving it in my face that I heard the conversation, and yeah, whole type of situation. Like he did a good thing. Yeah, he got you. You understand? So on the way, he was trying to have a conversation, and I was just so quiet because I was so hurt. When I tell you I was so hurt, I was so hurt. Hi everyone, I just wanted to remind you guys to please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much for supporting me thus far. And I remembered actually while I was editing this video that I forgot one specific part, when this man would always want me to eat before I work, so that by the time they come down for their breakfast, I would just sit at the table and watch them eat, literally. So I will just be there watching them eat. Also, I remember that some days I wouldn't be hungry, or I might have missed breakfast because I was late, and that automatically means that I wouldn't eat because I would have to wait for lunch. And by then, for lunch, I would have to wait for the kid to finish his food. And I did mention that the kid eats very slow. So I'd have to wait for him to finish his food before I eat. Sometimes I'd eat later on when I'm done working. So that was very stressful. I did mention it, but it was already late because by then I had already decided that I was leaving this family. So we did have like a brief, discussion, but to be quite honest, it was very late. So those were some of the things. I kind of feel like I did mention a lot in this video of what happened, but there are certain things that I did not mention on this video. I feel like one day when I have fully healed, I will be able to talk about it and let you guys know what happened. I don't know on what video, but I will mention things, piece by piece. And if you're watching this segment, it'll make sense in the end. One last thing, guys, this video is very long, so I decided to cut it again. So the next clip, the continuation of this video, will be posted on Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again on Wednesday. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends so they can tell their friends so we can all be friends. Also, never forget, appreciate your life, show gratitude at all times. God loves you and I love you, and I'll see you in my next video.